If you could spend a moment with some remarkable people and discover what their life sounds like, what would you ask? Welcome to Are We On Air? An audio encounter. I'm Arman, and each episode will feature one conversation with an inspiring friend of mine who will share with us the soundtrack to their life. Good morning, beautiful people, and greetings from sunny and stormy Hollywood, California. This week's guests are my funky friends, the Funk Lords, aka Chromeo. Dave One and P-Thugg joined me at what was the very first interview at our KIOSK right on Sunset Boulevard. Live from the street to your ears and eyes. Yes, you can watch the whole interview on our YouTube and Spotify channel. I first heard of Chromeo in the early aughts when I practiced my beat matching skills DJing with one of my very first vinyl records, which was called Needy Girl by Chromeo. The cover of that record caught my attention and the sound did not disappoint. Fast forward to today and the duo is still going strong with the latest album, Adult Contemporary. What always drew me to their sound, besides being funky and heavy on the synth, was the dialogue between the different eras, which obviously resonated with me. Dave One and I met a good 20 years ago at an after party in Stockholm, Sweden, which none of us really remembered. And P-Thugg and I met at Boomer Room's 5th anniversary when Dave's brother, A-Track, and I were DJing together and where P-Thugg joined us in the DJ booth. We discussed how Chromeo's DNA is all about the mixture of seriousness and humor, and how the drum machine known as LM1 shaped all of the 80s records that you and I know and love. But we also covered what it's like meeting and playing with your childhood hero. In this case, Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates. But we covered so much more and literally just watching the world go by on Sunset Boulevard. Now, let's get funky. Welcome to Are We On Air, Chromeo?
Thank you.
P-Thugg and Dave One in the house. You guys are popping the cherry of the KIOSK.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having us. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
It's amazing.
Live from Sunset Boulevard, right across from the chateau. People walking by. We were watching, not the girls walk by, the humanity walk by.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Finally. We've been meaning to do this, my God, years.
Yeah. Finally, we made it. And, we know our little story. We met. But you don't know exactly when the first time I met you.
So you said Sweden?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I was living in London at the time. It was like 2006 or something. And I had my first DJ gig in Stockholm. And I was playing at Spy Bar or wherever it was. And I ended up at some random after party. And then there was I remember duvets and feathers floating around and you were DJing and you were having a good time.
Wow.
That's the first time I saw you.
Sweden?
In Sweden.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's weird. When we started, our song Needy Girl was like a top 10 song in Sweden.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
for no reason. It was so random.
It was our strongest market back then.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, one of the first records I ever bought was Needy Girl.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. I remember holding it. I was like, what a cool cover. And you start imagining. Obviously, you guys also were portraying this image, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what is this? And of course, the track being so dope.
Yeah, that song really started our career.
What's the story of Needy Girl? Let's stop there.
You know, it's definitely the first song where I sang, and I had never sung in front of a microphone before ever in my life. We didn't really know what we were doing yet. We had like a few demos.
We had the idea of recontextualizing and referencing funk music, which back then had been forgotten for a long time. Yeah. Even frowned upon, I would say.
Definitely.
It was literally Dave's first vocal take. We already had figured out that we were going to juxtapose sort of anti-heroic lyrics on top of referential funk music.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it started. And Needy Girl stayed our blueprint until today.
I remember
so dope.
We were still kind of rediscovering all those influences, and I heard Timex Social Club Rumors on the radio, and it's kind of similar. Every day. Like I made the melody, I wrote the lyrics, and then P, we worked on the music together. I mean, we didn't really think about it. And then it's funny because like it's so strange. Like when I re-listen to that song, I hear other references or other influences that we put in there, like the drum break in the middle, like the.
Yeah, I'm in the studio right now. I'll call you later. No, I really can't talk right now. I'll just call you back, all right?
That's like, it sounds like Sting, Englishman in New York. There's a really similar drum break.
Oh, really? Maybe
it's
we're
just-
gonna mix it together like it's a bit
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's the cool thing when you start making music, you don't even know what your influences are. You're just like trying new things.
Yeah.
And thank God that song really gave us wings and allowed us to have just enough support from like the DJ community and like some sort of tastemaker community to go and make our Fancy Footwork album. And that's really where things changed.
Love it. Do you remember when we first met? You
No.
probably won't remember. It was the 5th anniversary of the Boom Boom Room in New York at the Standard. And I had booked your brother to DJ a track, and you came by.
Oh, okay.
And I think we even ended up in the New York Times, the three of us in the DJ booth. So that's the first time we met.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's 5th anniversary of Boom Boom. It must have been 2014,
Yeah.
13, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
So, and full circle, we're here now on Sunset
Yeah.
together. But what's the story of Are We On Air? Are We On Air is basically what's the soundtrack to your life, right? So why don't we start right at the beginning with what's the earliest significant musical memory that shaped you as an artist?
First significant musical memory. I mean, of course, you know, Michael Jackson, discovering Michael Jackson.
Oh, discovery, huh?
I was introduced to Michael Jackson with Bad.
When the synth.
And that man in the mirror, you know, he changed my life. And then after that, discovering Zap, Roger Troutman, the Talkbox. You know, we knew each other. We were starting to collect records, and that's the embryo of Chromeo. You know, yeah.
The embryo of Chromeo. Oh my God, that's the title right there.
The Chromeo embryo. That's amazing. For me, like obviously my parents' record collection was a big thing, and they listened to a lot of like those baby boomer classics from Bob Dylan to Fleetwood Mac. But when I started watching music videos as a kid, it was the 80s. So I would see like the hair metal bands, the sort of 80s pop bands from like Prince to Robert. The beginning of hip hop, like, you know, Run DMC, Aerosmith, Arrested Development, you know, that kind of stuff that would play on videos, Beastie Boys. And that's really what my earliest musical memories are from. I was like in grade 2 or 3, and I remember watching like Prince When the Doves Cry on his motorcycle and being like, wow, this guy's, what is that? When I saw Robert Palmer's Simply Irresistible, it was like the first time I told myself, if I'm ever a musician and a singer, I want to be like this guy. I remember just feeling he was so cool with all the girls in the background and stuff. Like, I was like, if I were one day of my life to ever be a musician, he's like the coolest guy I've ever seen.
Well, I think you emulate him quite well. Which obviously from Needy Girl all the way to today and your brand new album, which I have to say, well done.
Thank you.
Back to the roots. I like it.
Yeah.
Very funky.
Yeah.
I mean, we speak the same language, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
big time.
I mean,
Of course.
We're stuck in a certain era.
Yeah. I always say this, like, yeah, we're stuck in a certain era, But
without being retro.
no, but
Yeah.
also like if we were in that era, it wouldn't be interesting.
Exactly.
I always say that with P, we always say like, oh, if you were in the 80s, who would you want to play with? And we're like, in the 80s, we would be the worst band on earth. Like Prince and those guys, they would obliterate us. Like we would, it's a good thing we're here now because we can bring a contemporary twist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even like if you look at your outfit, like if you were dressed like this in Geneva in 1974, you would look like every other guy. He would look like every other guy on the marina.
I like the Geneva reference. Yeah,
That's
you're
kind
right.
of what
yeah.
it is. Geneva, 1974.
Yeah.
You would look like every other guy on the marina.
Totally.
But the fact that you're dressed like that here and now, that's what makes it modern. So I don't really believe in retro because it's always the dialogue between two eras, now and then. And it only makes sense because it's now, Anyway.
So talking about now, so we have 3 songs to choose from. One that defines who you are, one that defines who you are, and one
Nice.
that defines adult contemporary. Or Chromeo.
Oh, Chrome. Wow. Okay. Both. Do you have a song, P, that defines you? Well, here.
The single song that defines me is Computer Love.
Oh.
Zap, Roger Troutman, Computer Love. That really encapsulates everything from personal life to style of music to romantic, funk, talk box, synthesizers, drum machines, that's everything.
Talking about drum machines.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite gadget?
Favorite gadget?
If your house would burn down, as one gadget you would rescue.
Man, oh shit. That's a hard question. That's asking who your favorite child is.
Oh, God.
My LM1 right now they manufactured less than 500, and 40, 50 years later, I think there's only 200, 300 functioning ones.
Just for an explanation for people who don't know what an LM1 is.
LM1 is basically the drum machine that you hear on possibly 20 to 30% of all the 80s hits.
Really?
And Prince.
Yeah.
Like really.
Well, Prince, but also, Hall & Oates, Prince, like
Everything.
Peter Gabriel.
At this point in the process, much the most important tool for me is this drum machine or the rhythm box. This allows me, with the sound of real drums, to store in computer memory any drum pattern I can conceive of or steal and use this as the basis for my songwriting.
For instance, put one up here in the machine, which has got quite a simple rhythm, but I can use it to illustrate what I do. Boom, 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 bam, boom, boom. Now I've got this rhythm set up, I can start, say, adding claps in there.
Stevie
on
Wonder,
everything.
it's on everything. Phil Collins.
Yeah,
it's
like
on
if you
everything.
think like, let's just say
Herbie Hancock,
Oh, wow.
the drums from When the Doves Cry.
or the drums for Kiss.
Yeah, and the drums
For Man Eater.
Man Eater, Part-Time Lover by
Part-Time
Stevie. And it's
Lover.
all this one drum machine. That's really hard to find now.
Yeah, and it defined
era.
For sure.
the sound of the 80s pretty much.
For sure. Trying to think a song that encapsulates me. Easy Lover. That's the one for me.
I
Easy
can see
Lover.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Easy
yeah.
Lover is me.
Yeah.
I love that tempo. But you know what I like about Easy Lover too is it's a mix between rock and funk.
Yeah.
And I really grew up first listening to rock from my parents' record collection, and then growing up learning to play guitar and playing like all the rock songs. And, you know, we were kids doing grunge music and all that. And then I discovered funk later on, you know, and that song Easy Lover really combines the two. It's like one rock guy and one funk guy, Phil Collins mixed with Earth, Wind and Fire. It's really the two worlds combining with something so cool. That's my song. The title. Come on. That's me. That's my vibe. The most Chromeo song, Fancy Footwork or Night by Night. Man, I can't go for that. I think I can't go for that, really, that one. Well, that too. That one's got like the humor, the sort of organic elements, but also the synthesizer elements. It's a very hybrid song. And that's what we try to bring.
Hybrid group.
A hybrid group, yeah. I remember when we first started Chromeo, I reheard, you know, it was like a radio show, like the oldies at noon, you know, like when they had those. And I reheard I Can't Go For That. And all I kept thinking was, man, this is the song from the dentist office. I just remember somehow it was always Hall & Oates at the dentist. And, you know, you're sitting there like, you really have time to listen to the music. When we started Chromeo, Hall & Oates were still forgotten. P and I were sitting together and being like, we're going to bring this back. Like this whole vibe, like this is our mission. We're going to bring this stuff back.
Have you ever met any of your heroes?
We met Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates. We played shows with him.
Oh, wow.
We went to his house. There's like all these crazy YouTubes of us jamming with Daryl Hall. We did a show at Bonnaroo in 2010 where we played one Hall & Oates song, one Chromeo song.
Oh, sick.
He sang all our songs.
Oh, wow.
I just rewatched it the other day. I think Daryl Hall's one of the biggest idols we met. Jesse Johnson from Morris Day and the Time, Pino Palladino, Bootsy.
Bootsy. We're trying to get Bootsy on the show.
Oh,
I
bro.
mean, he must be.
And when we were kids.
Oh, yeah. When we were kids, yeah. Yeah. 1994.
Damn.
Bootsy played in Montreal, and I went to the show with my bass. I waited after the show. He disappeared.
Oh, no.
The guys from the venue told me he was at the hotel right behind the venue. I went there with my bass, waited until 5 a.m.
Oh, wow. And?
And he came out, signed my bass, took a picture with him. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know,
that's so cool.
It's crazy because like nowadays we have people that bring their keyboards to our meet and greets and to our shows, and they asked us to sign it. I was just like, man, if that's how they feel, because I remember how happy you were when you came to rehearsal next week. You know, we were kids already playing music together.
Yeah.
Like, if we can make someone that happy, my God, like we've done what we needed to do. But yeah, other heroes, a lot of hip hop heroes too. Because another thing we didn't
in hip hop, right?
Yeah, another thing we didn't mention was like the whole hip hop thing, which was a huge part of our life.
Sure.
You know, hip hop idols that we've met, we've had a chance to meet a lot of them. Q-Tip probably being the best and brightest and greatest. You know, Premier. The only one we didn't meet is Dilla. And that's like a big, that would have been huge but you know, Questlove, he's a friend.
Of course,
You know, so a lot of those people, that feels great because both P and I are the oldest brothers.
Yeah.
He has a younger sister and I have my younger brother as well. We didn't really have like older brothers. So in our heads, it feels like the hip hop artists. Oh, and Beastie Boys, we met Beastie Boys.
We actually opened.
We opened for them. We're friends with Mike D.
Yeah.
The Beastie Boys, Tribe Called Quest, you know, DJ Premier. A lot of those guys were kind of our imaginary older brothers. We haven't met RZA yet.
I met RZA actually.
Yeah. Easy.
The cosign of having the Beastie Boys personally ask for us to open for them in Canada. Adrock heard our music in a store.
In Germany, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He went out of his way to ask what was playing. noted it,
sick.
came back, and then asked us to open.
Oh wow!
To
How
me,
cool is
that's
that?
the
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I love my Bootsy bass,
Yeah,
but to
yeah.
me, this is
My boots waist, but the Shazam moment with the Beastie Boys.
Oh, yeah,
that was
the analog
before Shazam.
The Beastie Boys taught us how to be.
No pun intended.
True. They were the coolest people I had seen on
Yeah.
TV, and they were just like us. Especially for me, like as a Jewish kid, they were like the coolest Jewish kids, and they skated, and they were down with graffiti, and they were down with hip hop,
Mixing all
but they
these
were
worlds,
rock,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
they had it all. And one big thing we took from the Beastie Boys that we're never gonna let go is the mix between seriousness and humor, and especially their sense of humor.
Yeah.
And we're never gonna let
I
that
can
go
see
from
that.
Chromeo ever. That's always gonna be like we make each other laugh at the studio. Needy Girl's a funny song.
Yeah.
Everything we do's got to have humor. If not, this is not a band. When we started, the band doubted us because they thought we were too funny and it wasn't serious like a
Yeah,
serious
serious
indie
music,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, you're crazy. We're only gonna get funnier. You know?
Yeah, especially also in that time when you really became big was like the so-called indie sleaze
Indie,
period,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
like
yeah.
so, there was a lot of fluff as well, like barflies that came in and out, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know what actually has longevity here, or what's just part of the
that's true.
trend, right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, like, I will say, I like to revisit a lot of these songs.
Yes, and then you
Even-
actually look at the quality.
Oh
Some
my
of them,
God!
yeah. I've done
Even
it the other
some
day.
of
Yeah,
them where the groups no longer
yeah,
exist.
yeah.
My God, these songs are so good.
So good,
It was
yeah.
a beautiful period in music, and we're really happy that that's when we came up. But you're right. From like the critics, they were like, "Oh, Chromeo, they're just the two jokers." But in our heads, we were like, "Nah,
No.
the Beastie Boys were the original. They taught us how to do this, and we're just gonna keep that vibe going." Oh, and then there's another cool meet your idols moment. We played a show in Australia, like in November, and we played the same festival as Jamiroquai.
Oh, sick.
I mean, we met Niall a bunch, and that's
Yeah,
a, you know,
I
it's
worked
a
with
homie.
Niall before.
Yeah,
a
he's-
legend. Yeah, he has stories for days.
Stories
That's
for
a
days, and he loves to share them.
Yeah.
God bless Niall,
Yeah.
bro. We were like playing, and there's all these guys on the side of the stage, and we were like, "Who is this?" And they were really into it, and then they were like, "Oh, we're the Jamiroquai band,"
Oh.
and we were like so stoked. And then they took us on stage with them. And like introduced us to JK, and we're like, "Yo, that's Chromeo, bro, that's Chromeo." And so we were like, "Whoa, my
Wow.
God!" So that was great
Sick.
because the first show P and I ever went together as kids was Jamiroquai when we were like in high school.
I passed flyers for that show.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I did too. Yeah, I did too.
I love that.
I remember the flyer.
Yeah,
Favorite Jamiroquai track?
blow your mind.
Don't you know that you blow my mind, honey? You're sweeter than anything. I need you. Want to get closer to you.
You know a lot of them.
That's hard too. Little L, you
Little
know,
L.
just for like context and virtual insanity, let's say.
That's probably their best song.
Yeah. I even like the reggae songs.
Yeah. No, there's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a jazz band. That's what most people don't know. They were originally just a jazz band. And there's so much good stuff out there for the early stuff. I just started as a music director at the Boomer Room back in the days. You know, I was like in my zone. I just started the job, and I went to the DJ booth because I heard like it was cranking, wasn't right. Everything in the red. I'm literally going into the DJ booth like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you know.
Oh boy, wrong guy to do that.
And the guy just looked at me, who the fuck are you? Like, it was Q-Tip DJ, but
Yeah.
it's private. I didn't even look. He was just getting the rats.
the echo on his voice.
Yeah.
I know. He's
I'm like,
amazing.
dude, this is my mixer. What are you doing? Like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that's they're talking about it. I got you some drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it stopping in front of us?
Yeah, 'cause he doesn't
wants to be
respect
part of the
No,
interview.
it's no respect. Machines, man. They don't
What
know.
is it? You have this amazing old Toyota pickup truck, and then something Arabic on the side. What does it say?
Souk ya habibi.
Ah,
My love market.
I
It's
love it.
the literal translation.
What's your Arabic origin?
Lebanese Egyptian.
Lebanon. Favorite Arabic track?
Oof, man. Do you know Ziad Rahbani's songs?
Yes.
He's Fairuz's.
Of course. The Keys, of course.
He has long soundtrack movies in 3 volumes.
Oh, wow.
He's amazing.
I love
That's my favorite Arabic music. He mixes jazz with Arabic singing, classical. He's like a real genius. You know, Fairuz's son.
Yeah.
And his father is also Fairuz's producer. So it's like they made the baby of all babies, you know,
I love it.
in terms of Arabic music.
Yeah.
But if you want a specific song, Futnem is another one of my favorite Ziad Rahbani songs. Futnem, it means get up, go sleep.
فتنام صير أحلام إنه بلدنا صارت بلد فتنام بهالأيام حاربي سكرها ولد هي بلد لا مش بلد هي قرة العالم مجموعين.
My favorite cry is New Girl on the new record.
Oh, thank you.
Love it.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's the story?
The story with that one was like we had forgotten a little bit about Italo disco, kind of that vibe. Again, on this album, we were listening to a lot of music that was in the air when we started Chromeo. You know, New York City, 2003, 2004, when I had just moved to New York and P would come down and we'd literally go out to clubs. Like we don't go out to clubs really anymore unless we're DJing.
Unless we get paid, we don't show up.
You know, but back in the day, we'd go out to clubs and there was every night. And so there was a lot of amazing DJs from so there was like this club in New York called APT. I feel like that club doesn't get its due because it was really special. It was an apartment and it was in the meatpacking district before it got so crazy.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 floors of an apartment. The first floor looked like an actual apartment with a DJ booth, and the basement kind of looked more like a wooden Japanese listening room. And you would have people playing 80s funk on the first floor or deep house. And in the basement, it'd be more like electro. So DFA had a night and a bunch of other people, DJ Lindsay, DJ Prince Language. They had a night called they had a night called Negro Clash where they played black music from the 80s. We started thinking like, oh man, those kind of Italo. There was this really amazing duo of DJs in New York called P-Thugg.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember them?
Yeah.
They killed it with that kind of hard electro, hard Italo.
Yeah.
So when we made New Girl, that was the space we put ourselves in. And that was like one of the reasons why we got Morgan Geist to mix the album, because he's from Metro area.
Oh.
You remember Metro area?
Of course.
So he's the guy from Metro area and he's the one who mixes all those songs. When you listen to New Girl, you can hear him. The record album being called Adult Contemporary, one of the things we wanted to do is like other adults like you who know this kind of music, basically like give them a little virtual high five, have an inside reference with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Talk is cheap. We
Thank you.
fall in love and cheat with no apologies between us. Let's talk about loyalty instead of lawyer fees. There's always more to please. It's too much, but baby, you keep all my attention. Since you stepped in the frame, I feel like this is an education.
Well, to go slightly more intimate, what's your go-to falling in love or heartbreak song?
I love a Heartbreak song. Those are my favorite Heartbreak song. Yeah.
When was the last time you were heartbroken?
Lucky for me, it was a minute ago, but I love them. Even if I'm not heartbroken, I love listening to them. I don't know why it's this one. It's always been this one. It's John Waite. I ain't missing you at all. And it's called Missing You. Since you've been gone, I ain't missing you at all.
Since you've been gone, away, I ain't missing you. No matter what I might say, there's a message in the wire, and I'm sending you this signal tonight.
So powerful. That's my favorite Heartbreak song.
It's funny you said that. My favorite Heartbreak song is Missing from Everything But the Girl.
Oh my God. That's actually the best.
Yeah, that's like
Toteri, yeah?
Yeah.
And I miss you, yeah. And I miss you, and I miss you.
yo, another thing that I copied that P had done the demo from Fancy Footwork. Almost all done. It's one of those songs. Sometimes we make demos together. Sometimes I start an idea, we work on it together. Sometimes P starts a demo and I come in and I have a lot of edits and then we edit it together. Sometimes he'll make a demo and I don't have much to change. Yeah. I listen to it and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do vocals and do the arrangement, but it's all there. Fancy Footwork, I would say was 85% there. I heard it and I was like, I would love to hear a bass under the bass. So I listened to his demo. I still have it. And I was like, okay. You
heard on the floor, feels like dancing is the way to go.
That's what I heard. I put it in the song. Great. The other day, I'm listening to the fucking Todd Terry remix of Everything But the Girl. And what do I hear? Boom, boom, dum, 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 dum. And I'm like, man, that's where I took it from. That is where I took it from. It's the same thing. I know that Everything But the Girl remix, which I think might be in the top remixes of all time.
For sure.
Top 5.
I mean, to have a remix to really take the original to another level.
Crazy.
Like, come on.
It was already hard to beat.
Yeah.
And then they...
Yeah.
Best remixes of all time, honestly.
Yes.
That
Crazy.
that one's there.
Yeah.
I think my brother's Yeah Yeah Yeah's remix is
Oh,
there.
yes, of course.
Come on.
Yes.
And one remix I will say that does eclipse the original. Shout to our boy the Magician. I Follow.
Yeah.
That's I mean I love the original, but that remix
Yeah. I had this conversation with Of course.
That's actually the best example of a remix that actually it became the song. But man, that Everything But the Girl.
I didn't know the original.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Leaky.
Oh yeah, she's on the podcast.
She was on it as well.
Yeah, she's so
family,
dope.
Yeah. She had nothing to do with the remix. The Magician did it, but none of them actually have any royalties on this track.
Oh,
and it's like
it's
so big.
Oh, yeah.
It's like movie soundtrack
Wait, she
level.
should have royalties on her tracks.
For some reason, they're none of them
remixes
actually
are
have
a weird loophole.
Yeah.
My brother just started getting royalties on Yeah Yeah Yeah's this year.
Damn.
So he missed out on a lot. But you know, those
Shout out to A-Track.
Shout out to A-Track. we should get him on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Everything Missing You. I mean, mine
Yeah.
is 80s and yours is 90s. My
like
God,
that.
this Everything But the Girl
I
song.
know.
Come on. Hey, they put out a new album last year.
They did?
It's amazing.
It's dope.
Really?
It's dope.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's good.
Amazing.
I mean, the first half is really all of it's cool, but it kind of went under the radar, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Everything But the Girl came out with an album last
we
year.
gotta
It's fire.
play some. Oh, we're gonna play it. We're gonna
No,
play
it's
it.
dope.
Oh,
Yeah, we
sure.
should play it. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Well, after the heartbreak, when you're feeling sexy again, walking down Sunset Boulevard, strolling
Yeah.
around, what's the sexiest song?
My sexiest song is D'Angelo, You're My Lady.
Ooh.
I mean, everybody loves D'Angelo, but D'Angelo, You're My Lady. Or D'Angelo cover of Cruisin' by Smokey. I love the D'Angelo version. D'Angelo's like the love.
For me, it's still Roger, Slow and Easy.
Oh, that one's good.
You can't beat that, man. Somebody singing to you in a robot voice for
That's you.
for making love. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Literally, you can't.
I love it. Sick. Well, to wrap up a little chat, in the Netflix documentary of Chromeo.
In the Netflix documentary, that's going to be cool.
Credits, what song's getting played there?
You know, it should be one of our songs, no?
Could be whatever you think is right.
I feel if it's a documentary on us, it should be one of our songs. I think so. You know what's funny is that every time we make an album, the last song, we always picture like rolling credits.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, so like...
Hey!
For those listening, we finally got recognized. It was about time. We've been waiting
Been here for 45 minutes.
45 minutes for every passerby. We made eye contact in hopes that they would recognize
We
us.
are wearing shades.
But finally, the two cutest girls of all,
There you
they
go.
finally, thank God, for those listening at home. For our rolling credits, it could be any of our last songs. My favorite last songs from our albums, 100% or Fall Back to You. From this new album, I love Friends and Lovers as a rolling credit one. That's nice, I think, because it definitely has that vibe.
You followed up the day you called me up. Man, I knew what the drama would be. Obviously, we got along. Taurus and a Capricorn, come on, gon' get me. They say don't let none of your fears get in
An
the
intro
way
song?
of your dreams.
Intro song? Sure. That's a first.
Intro song should be our latest single.
No, you know what could be a good intro song? When we started making Chromeo, like, there's a few albums that had just come out that we loved. The first Phoenix album, the one with the saxophone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love the sax on the last on your
Thank
album.
you.
Yeah?
We have one saxophone solo per album. That's a rule in
right.
Chromeo. Yeah. Every album we've made has a saxophone solo. Every time. That's going to always be the case for us.
I love it. Well, what a pleasure it was to be on Sunset with you guys.
What a pleasure it was. Thank you for having us to...
From Jimmy Kimmel, by the way. Congrats on Jimmy Kimmel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
couple
know,
blocks
couple
away. Yeah.
Wow, we're on air. It's cooler. Come on. Come on.
Well, this looks really cool. Thanks for having us. I'm so happy we made it happen.
Yes.
And I'm just waiting for the Polaroid.
Yep. We're taking it right now.
Thank you.